All right, welcome back, people, to CHAPS Darkside podcast. This again is a fledgling thing happening here. I've been doing the Darkside for a couple of years just on YouTube. Now we've extended it to the podcast format, podcasts slash video. It's on both platforms. I have a busy guy. I've been waiting to interview for some time. I've been watching his works online. I know many fear him. Which is funny. You know what? He's probably one of the busiest, most interesting dudes I've managed to watch and now chat to over in Germany. Obviously, when you're going to listen to him talk, you know, he won't have the German accent. He's a transplant. Hey, you know, I mean, I've been to Europe. I'd actually rather be in Europe myself. Okay, and you know, he's involved with urbexing, debunking videos, filming music videos, you know, investigations. Mort is really kind of an all over the place sort of dude. Very fun to watch his material, because I find that though, you know, we're not mega stars, you get cult followings, and you're probably, you know, for the last couple of years, got to be honest, you're probably one of the most polarizing figures in the underground of paranormal investigation. You know, you're very script by the way you speak, and you're not afraid to call stuff out, and I appreciate that. Those who don't have much to fear don't fear, but there's got to be a lot that are. I've got to ask you though, you know, when it came to all this urbexing and debunking and music videos, and well, I'll add drinking in there because it seems to be a great deal of that. What came first, and what led to what?
Well, I've always dealt with music type filming, started with like photos and stuff. But when I came to Germany, like I didn't know any artists out here. So what's the next best thing? Well, urbex, I guess. And then that just kind of started to ghost hunt, and it just led to me trying to find out the truth. Hence why I do the debunkings, watch other people's videos, debunk their videos. A lot of paranormal investigators these days don't seem to care about the truth. They only want fans. They only want the clicks, the likes. And it kind of really bugged me, because I actually wanted to find out if there was something more after, you know. So, yeah.
Isn't that the truth? And you know what? I think I think obviously urbexing here in Canada stinks, because we don't have landmarks that still exist. Everything gets boarded up, and trespassing laws, yada yada yada. So for us, you know, I grew up hanging out in old factories, which are all knocked down now. But I get you on that. And with the investigating, I think you're right. I do think that there's a certain level of I think honesty and integrity is something that's lost. There's nothing wrong with a new team. You know, you can see their zeal with something, and maybe the first time they saw Night Shot, and holy shit, I've got a room full of orbs, and you know, you lose your cotton on that right off the bat. But it's okay to admittedly be, you know what, we're new. Things are going to get us a little jumped up, right? And then you learn over time. And you're right, over time, it really does, you know, you get over your hump of losing my mind, everything's got to be exciting, everything's got to be nuts. Now I just want to find some truth. I want to help the people I'm helping. I want to tell the truth. And things like integrity become much more important. I'd much rather have 40 very, very boring or no result videos and say, like, it didn't happen, but you know, the methods were used. So we're on page one with that one for sure. My writing is absolutely terrible. So
Probably better than mine, so it's okay.
So I gotta ask you though, when you work these debunking videos, and they're great, and a lot of the times I do see, like, it's very much craft fair. It's like it's either, you know, it's either orbs or fairies, which are orbs. That generally seem to be it. Occasionally somebody uses a well-marketed app to do something, going even sometimes as far as creating something that happens. I know that there's an innocence to people believing, and then there's the assholelessness of those who have to do it just for their own gain. But are you finding you do this to hundreds of teams and hundreds of videos, are you finding that it is more, what's the ratio of junior teams that are just making silly mistakes to senior teams that haven't learned yet and or want fame due to it?
Well, I think it's actually more senior teams that are doing it, because with them being actual paranormal investigators for a long time, they learn these magic tricks. That's what I like to call them, magic tricks, like the flashlight trick, string. It's all things that you learn, you pick up on when filming, and it's like, wait a minute, that's string. Wait a minute, you can see that they edited the video here. I mean, it's more the older teams that are doing it, it seems.
Really?
At least from my experience.
Wow, and isn't that bloody disappointing? Because, like I said, a junior team, somebody who's been around 6 months, a year, or whatever, I get it. It's fresh, and it's that hope, that belief that's paranormal, that they've caught something. I can excuse that, I really can. But when a senior team actually, I look at it two ways. If you're actually fabricating so that you can look, that's just right out of the disgusting book, really, and it makes us all look like a bunch of morons.
I have to agree.
and then even to the also, if you've been doing this for, I've been investigating a little over 25 years now, and I've run CHAPS just about 16 years. If after a number of investigations you haven't clued on to something yet, and you're still hooked that this is that, and trying to convince people, then you need to get your head checked, because I would really hate to be a team that's been around for 5 or 10 years, and you've got 40 or 50% of the investigators out there looking at you like you're a yutz. What silly results are you coming up with?
Well, I think the majority of teams, it's more teams that they either fake or they don't understand what it is, and they're calling it paranormal. They're jumping from, I don't know what this is, so hey, it has to be ghosts. And the problem is people don't look into their equipment. They don't figure out what causes something to go off. They don't figure out, oh, hey, my phone in my pocket is making the K2 meter go off. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, my walkie-talkie is setting the REM pod off. It's lack of actually trying to figure out what something is.
Agreed.
It's horrible.
Agreed. I know we did an investigation last night where I was using light sensitive, movement sensitive, whatever, proximity panels, and I had my videographer run across it with a shot with the IR booms on, just to show that, look, infrared lights, even though we don't see them, will make that device go off, whether somebody might call it paranormal.
I'm sure there's lots that will.
Oh, sure. It's so important on an investigation to realize that there's things that say cause EMF, and then there's things that are going to sporadically cause EMF. And I remember years ago we were at a public. I can't stand public investigations, but we went to one at a big site in the States, and there was a lady that was doing the tour, and there was about 30 of us there, and she had on a headset, a microphone, and a big walkie-talkie thing, and she was near a huge spirit box, or a huge REM pod type thing, monstrosity Frankenstein device, and every single time she'd talk through the device, of course, it would go off. Now, half of us knew what was going on, but of course the rest of them, she's thanking Spirit for setting it up, making it go, and I thought, man, shit, this is just to make money. And it drives me nuts. And you're right. When it comes down to being an investigator, you got to learn. You got to learn the limitations. And it's nothing. You know what? Me doing this for 25 years, I've worked with a lot of teams. Over 40 now. I do a lot of collaborative works. And like years ago, I went and I worked with a team out of Virginia. They're actually scientists. Like they're from the University of Virginia's parapsychological department. And they work with data recorders and trends, and they're like, it's science. But the things I learned from them, the actual things you've got to look at and looking at the algorithms of programs, of devices, and like this, the Kinect, which is what the big toy is. I know. The big toy, the big
Yeah.
toy, the big toy today, right? You know, the Kinect is working. It's working for what it's supposed to be doing, and that is trying its best to pick up what seems to be a humanoid figure. So because it's a fucking video game device, and that's fine. It's what it, so it's not working. It's doing what it's programmed to do. Is it doing anything paranormal? No. I had one was built for me. I got it for free. I'm on the verge of selling it. I do bring it to investigations to catch the unicorn, which will never happen. I even say it on video. Please walk across the screen. Don't do a little door hanger. Don't be a bug that's actually table legs. You know, don't do this. Don't shake my hand. I'm hoping it'll never happen, but I guess it's entertaining. That's entertainment.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. So it's a shame that it's newer, it's older investigators are still keeping that up, and TV stars. So then that kind of flies into this question, Mort, which is, what is the most overused, debunkable, give me 3 of the most overused, debunkable pieces of shit that exist. Now, can't use Xbox Connect because I just did that. So I screenshot that.
Let's see. The spirit box is a broken radio, and people are listening for voices on a radio. That to me, that's mind-boggling. I hate that. Like, they're listening for voices on a radio, and let's say that it does work, which I don't believe it does. There's no evidence that suggests that it does, but you can never guarantee what's actually being said. It could actually be something else that's being said. So you can't use that. Like, it's, in my mind, it's been debunked. People who know about radio waves and shit have actually debunked the spirit box already. Mm-hmm. I'm not that smart, so I can't. Let's see, what else? The flashlight trick. Obviously, that I see that all the time on television. People who put the flashlight down. Click it on if you're here, or click it off if you're here. That's been debunked. Deals with the metal heating up and cooling down. Actually, I just watched a video yesterday or the day before of a guy who put a wire into a flashlight and was able to actually click it on and off, and it looked like the flashlight was just going off on questions. That crap's been debunked. Let's see, what is it? I think it's the Ovulus. The one that has the word database that you put words into. Like, that is the stupidest thing you can imagine. Oh, I'm going to a witch's house today, so let's put in words dealing with witches. Oh, look, they pop up all of a sudden for no random reason. It's like, it's just stupidity. Or I believe there was on Ghost Adventures, they had a device where a ghost would send you a text message in one of the episodes.
That'd be nice.
Well, what? What kind of stupidity is this? In fact, all the tools are unreliable. You got the K2, which is set off by walkie-talkies, phones. It's just mind-boggling. I've not come across anything that I go, well, I think this is it. I think this is the right piece of equipment. When, like, the K2 was actually designed not for, it was for looking for if, like, wires were still good or something like that. And it's just like, what? Sorry, I don't get it.
No.
And plus the people don't even hold the K2 right. They hold it out like it's a damn flashlight. The sensor is on the damn bottom. Like, it's not a damn TV remote, people.
Mm-hmm. Nope. You know what? We're in agreement on that, because you know what we consider to be ghost devices, you know, if you're going to use diagnostic devices, use the diagnostic devices for what they are. I mean, like we use a tri-field, not really during investigation, more for prior to investigation to find hot spots of errant electricity. K2, you know what, if you want to throw a K2 on a bed and if it flicks to red a couple times, don't call it paranormal, just call it as a reason to maybe ask a question or look around the room to see what's bursting.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't leave their cell phones at home, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I've heard that even when the phones are on airplane mode, that it will still set
Still
the
get off.
K2s off.
Still get it off.
I'm not positive about that because I've never personally seen it, but I've heard it from a couple people, so
And
that could be the case.
And the Ovulus, yeah, the random word generator that's got thousands of paranormal words already ready, made, and built into it. Love
Yeah,
it.
plus, like I said, there was one or two of the obviouses you actually put in words before you go and investigate.
Really?
Like you hook it up to the computer and you add words to it.
Why not?
It's,
Well, I mean, you know what the deal is, of course, is it gives you guaranteed happiness when you do when you do an investigation. You know, most times when
flashing lights and beeping. That's your golden ticket.
And the spirit box to me is nothing more than a nauseating headache, personally. You know, obviously we both live in metropolitan type areas, so there's going to be a billion radio stations, and who'd have thought that a voice would come out of that? And I think, you know, I almost take that to like an orb ratio in the way that, okay, let's say one orb in 60 million is legit, but like the odds are so fine that why are you even going to waste your time? And then really, it's probably not. So then why bother? And the flashlight, all that stuff's been banned on my. I won't even allow it. The last time I saw a flashlight trick, you know, of course they just uncouple the battery just enough so the leads are just touching. It's so brutally. You know that the science community watches those videos and just they must. It's like watching a comedy on screen. And considering that here I am involved in this stuff and I'm laughing, right? You know. It's more embarrassing than anything else. All right, and let's see, what's question 4? Okay, then, this is a good one, Mort, since we talked about the shitty equipment. What equipment, you're going on an investigation today, what equipment do you take?
As many cameras as I can carry.
Okay, so video.
Yeah, because I see this all the time. People will go in and say, people will go in and do a EVP session, and there'll be a noise, and people are like, oh my God, I hear it on the digital recorder. But in reality, it was somebody moving their foot, it was somebody stomach growling, it was somebody farting, it was somebody doing something. If you have multiple cameras in that room, catching every angle, you're going to see what it was. You can match it up, like, oh, there's the sound, it was his foot moving. Oh, this dude just farted and didn't say anything because he was embarrassed. Or it's, you know, it's multiple cameras that's the best.
Wow. Do you know what? I thank you so much for saying that. You know what? Audio will obviously garner you probably the most debatable evidence, but a lot of teams bring machines, bring video cameras. I think they use them wrong. They videotape them first person, like what everybody's looking at. I say no. I say to my videographers, I say videotape in third person. Videotape like if I'm doing a session, or if I'm alone. I put it's facing me. I said because there have been so many situations. I said when we do an audio file. We get an audio file, we might get 25 hits on that audio file. Out of that 25 hits, we might find 5 hits that we're going to do peer review. Out of those 5 peer review, we're now going to go that against the video. Oh shit, during that point in time, you're right, somebody clicked their mouth, or somebody didn't even realize it, right? I remember having one of my investigators in solitary confinement in jail, and we heard the term, we all like shit our heads. Heard the term after he had said, what got you in here? We heard the term overturned. So we're all like, overturned? Okay, well, that's a court term. Okay, so we're going over everything. And then one of the people on my team was smart enough to say, roll the camera back about 5 minutes and watch the whole thing again. And we had heard that his stomach had been making noises, and we were in a jail cell, remember that. And when overturned happened, all of a sudden we realized it didn't sound like overturned anymore. It was his stomach, the pareidolia of it all. So yeah, absolutely, 100%, get the damn video camera on. And because, you know, sometimes we do get audio evidence that I could say I'll present it, but we don't have video to back it up. But you know what, when you get an audio hit, I got an audio hit. I was the only male on location. A male had died that I knew. And I was in a room by myself, video camera facing me. And I said, Dave, his name is also Dave, I got to talk to you. You know, your daughters are missing you. And I want to come home. My mouth, totally silent. But the video camera was on my face. So then that was really a decent piece of evidence, at least I could present. And we went against audiophile versus his voice that they got when he was living. It was the same voice. So video camera helps out a lot. You have that totally good. Yeah, so you obviously bring audio as well. Anything else you bring?
I do. Sadly, I will admit I have a millimeter. I bought it. Actually, I used to have a Spirits box, but I tested it. I almost
Say fuck. You want to go ahead?
I tested it beyond belief. I sold it. I had a K2. I gave it to Hicks. He's the guy that I'm filming with, and a lot of the, well, when we do a big documentary, he flies to Germany and we film. But so I gave that to him, which I hate the K2. I hate it. But like I said, I got a millimeter, and since I've used the millimeter, I found out the REM pod is crap because it has the REM pod on it. It has a laser grid, which is so weak and pitiful that it can't be used for anything. But one thing that is kind of interesting is it has ambient temperature detection, which means if someone has it and they're walking and it goes off, that means the temperature changes. But the problem with that is if the person moves too quick or too fast, it's going to give you false readings. So that is a problem with it. But yeah, I got my digital recorder. I spent a lot of money on that thing. I got the Zoom H5 or H6, yep. I think.
Me too.
Yeah. And then, let's see here. Yeah, I think on the big investigations, I'll bring the millimeter and lots of cameras and then audio. That's about it. And then none of these other television tools. Mm-hmm. But even the millimeter, I'm like, because there's no, for the EMF, there's no proof or evidence that says that it's paranormal. The Earth emits EMF, your cell phone emits it. I mean, all the devices in your house emit it. It's like,
it's unreliable.
It's pretty unreliable. That's the temperature. That's what I really like about it, and the ambient temperature detection that has possibilities of being something if spirits are real and they can change the temperature. Then that might be something kind of interesting to use. But yeah. Not no fancy tools. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Cameras, audio, and yeah.
I did go through my years where I had a bunch of fancy tools, and I've still got. Well, I've got fancier diagnostic tools rather than fancier ghost hunting tools, which is fine, I guess. And we spend our money on audio and video. You know what I mean? When we've got a video camera, once up it's got some quality to it, and when we have audio, you know, we've got Zoom mostly we use, and Tascam. You know, I mean, if I can't use it to its potential, then I don't want it. Okay, then fair enough. I got the last question, which I'm going to ask you, and I find it funny. You're worried about saying "fuck." Don't worry about on this thing here, and you're drinking a fucking beer, so I don't care that.
No. This is
that's not alcohol. That's beer. You're in Germany. You're drinking alcohol.
Yeah, no. No, see, it's actually energy drink.
Oh, okay. So it's probably just as bad for you. But
yeah, no, I had too much alcohol yesterday. Too much yesterday.
Oh, you are so entertaining. Okay, bucket listing. This is where it comes. What's the best location you've been, and where do you really want to go?
Ooh, well, I think the most interesting location that I've been to, interesting for me might not be interesting for somebody else. Like, right. I filmed at concentration camps from the wartime, and a lot of people think that's like so insane. For me, it's not so insane because they're literally everywhere. Right. Because there are actually memorials here now.
Oh yeah.
But for me, the most interesting place was, well, especially down to two places. It was Lunar Lager, which was a work camp for Polish women and children. They have one of the bunkers still left, and there's also a cemetery in the. It's like in a park, and they have a cemetery from the workers there. When Hicks came out here and we filmed, it was like Haunted Berlin, I think two. It was either one or two. We split up a lot of the time, so you know, if something happens, maybe it'll happen to this person, or it'll happen to me,
Sure.
or because it's said that you know if someone's alone, spirits are more likely to try and communicate. So we always actually took that seriously, and we always try to split up. Like I would be in the cemetery and he'd be in the bunker, or I would be in the woods and he'd be in the cemetery. We got some really interesting things last time. Like he was sitting in the graveyard and I'm in the woods, and you can hear on both sides of him like what sounds like footsteps. And I'm in the woods and you can hear branches breaking everywhere. And it was actually really freaky. And because of this, I'm going to get a thermal camera. Because if it was people, I would like to be able to see that people screw with us, you know? Or if it's animals, I want to be able to see that. So that was really something interesting with that location. I've been there so many damn times, like, because when something happens, I don't just go one time for 6 hours like most paranormal investigators do.
Yeah.
I go back and go back and go back repeatedly over and over again. Because most of the places are actually really close to me. And the other one was a place called Alta Villa, which was an old East German circus. It had the ringmaster's house. It had what looked to be apartments. So I don't know if it was built afterwards, but it really looked like a park. And then it had the theater and stage. That's some weird stuff definitely happened. We kept hearing things. I thought I saw a shadow figure. It was another very interesting place. Where would I want to go the most? Oh, damn.
You can go intercontinental if you want. You go everywhere you want. You got a private jet.
Yeah, well, that's actually what I was trying to think. I'm trying to think where would I would go on the Earth. Damn, I don't know. That's a good one. There's like, I have like, you know, a bunch of places that I want to go. Hicks has a bunch of places he wants to go. It was actually in talks that I was actually supposed to fly to America this time, and we're going to go film the next documentary at the Shining Mansion.
Estes. The Estes Park?
The giant house that they filmed the movie The Shining in?
Yeah, that's a hotel.
It's like the hotel, yeah.
Yeah, in Estes.
We were supposed to film there, and we were supposed to film at one other place. What was the name? The Sally House was the other one that we were going to film if I flew out there. But due to all this COVID stuff, I'm stuck here, he's stuck there. So there's literally no documentary filming going on. So it kind of sucks.
So then, you know, coming to the end of this interview, what's up next for you? You gonna work on a debunk video or something, or are you gonna?
Well, since I have the next 5 weeks off for vacation, I did plan. I have been doing a lot of music stuff, but I'm neglecting the YouTube channel. I really am. I haven't filmed a debunking video. Well, I take that back. I filmed like one the last year, maybe two in like the last year. I haven't done any urbexing for so long. All these videos that people are seeing me put out that are brand new for them, I filmed them a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Oh.
At one point, I was filming so much. Like, I probably have like 15, 20 videos that I haven't even uploaded to YouTube that need to be uploaded, plus the 30 or 40 on YouTube already that just need to be unlisted. So I think I'm going to work on some debunking videos, because urbexing alone is very dangerous. People get very hurt, people get robbed, people get jumped. So it's always best to go urbexing with people, and nobody wants to go urbexing right now, so it's like, yeah.
Well, you've remained COVID-free, I hope.
Hopefully. I mean, last night, yeah.
Well,
my girlfriend's got me all paranoid now.
That's drinking. Very good. Well, Mort, I want to thank you for the amount of time you spent with me this morning, and I'll have this up right soon so you can have a view. And keep on doing what you're doing, because I enjoy the whole shit out of that. Okay, my friend?
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'm always down to come back, and maybe next time I'll be a little bit more animated. I'm very hungover, so yeah.
Peace, bro.
All right.
That was awesome. It was the longest time I wanted to meet that guy.